Okay, so we are live. This is the 17th episode of the Meteor University sessions. We are here with Kayes and Chris, the man himself, who has started all of this like months ago, just by asking, is there anyone who can mentor me? And now,
I don't forget, man, that someone wrote, no one give it for free, man. Oh, man. I don't forget this guy. I forget his name, but I looked it up last time, what they first wrote on the earth. And now we have our own university, my man. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Wow, this has been great. I mean,
yeah.
it's going great. Anyway, so today we're probably going to touch a few things. May touch things around performance optimization, especially server-side optimization for production apps like publications and methods, and what strategies we could use to better utilize our servers. And then we might probably discuss some atmosphere to NPM transition strategies, especially based on that one, and perhaps some React and topics associated with that. And then we'll see where this goes. So, guys, would you like to begin?
Yeah, please. I've already shared my screen for Kadira.io. It's a production app. I have like 700, 800 users on total. And most of the time I have at least 10 to 20 users online. And I was wondering where I can increase some performance, like speed and all that. I know there are some basic issues that needs to be taken care of. For example, limits and stuff like that. But I don't know all the techniques. So, and I also know the technique, like when you have a find call, you should use some sort of like ID instead of letting it empty, stuff like that. But I just wanted like a whole rundown of like performance increasing points. Yep. So this is it.
You still there? I'm here.
I'm here. Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah. So basically, yeah, until he comes back.
I think Serkan is out. I mean, he doesn't say anything and doesn't move.
Well, I mean, he'll just come back shortly.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So basically, this app, what happens is the CPU usage is pretty low. I mean, I've never seen the CPU usage going like more than like, I don't know, 10%. I don't think I've seen it. The memory, I think I've seen like 100 concurrent users, 110 concurrent users. The app is hosted on Galaxy at the moment, so it's holding really well. I mean, if I see like a lot of users, I just with one click I can just increase the container, and that's it. Let me show you. Yep. Galaxy, I mean, it's really helped me. Galaxy, although it's a bit expensive, but yeah. I mean, you can see here with just one click, you can get like 2 containers running, and that's it. It'll take care of everything. You know, so when there's a lot of users, I use that. Yeah, that's it. Let's see, it shows you how many users here. Roughly 10 users all the time, one day.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, Galaxy is pretty good. Very low memory usage and CPU. Yep. And yeah, I think they'll like there's this pops up time, obviously. And back?
Yeah, sorry. I had a computer glitch there.
Yeah, I was just explaining various stuff. So yeah, this is the Kadira.
Okay,
this is dashboard.
All right, cool. So could you did you experience or observe anything out of the ordinary on these charts when you had some load on your servers?
Sorry?
when you had some load on your servers, did you experience any inordinary things on this chart, like something's spiking, something's looking too large, or did you not get a chance to view it on the load?
I mean, the most amount of people I've had like 110 concurrent users, I think, at one point, and I just used these containers. I just made like 2 containers, and that's it. I didn't have to do anything else.
Okay.
So
So
normally it's like 10 connections, 10, 15 connections most of the time, 20, 30, not more than that, concurrent users.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see your point. You want to be on the safe side, but on the other hand, having 100 connected users and having to start off another server it's not cheap. It's really expensive at some point.
I just did it for like 1 hour, like 1 day.
So it's nice to have something like Galaxy and scale up really easily. But yet, ideally, you want to scale up when you actually need to scale up, and you want to have that one server, each server, to handle as many users as possible. So I think what we should do is, could you switch over to the live queries?
Sorry?
Could you switch over to live queries?
Oh, live queries, yeah.
Okay. This is basically where you want to be looking at. See, for example, you have 43% observer reuse ratio in here. It could be, I mean, ideally, even an idle application would probably have something higher.
Hold on a second. I'm just coming back. Hold on a second.
Yeah, okay.
So how's going with the app for you, Stefan?
Sorry?
You're programming right now React app, or?
Yeah, I mean, I have a Blaze project and the React project going at the same time.
Okay.
But the more I use React, the more I like it. I mean, it feels more natural with the whole JavaScript aspect of it. But
I feel it's cool that they combine HTML and JS as JavaScript.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Blaze is more natural with Meteor.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what I don't get yet. React is so awesome, but React and Meteor together is still a pain for me a bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
right?
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's get back to that. Okay.
Sure.
We'll discuss that too. Anyway, guys. So observer use ratio. This is the most important metric you wanna look at for optimizing your application. For example, if your observer reuse ratio is below 50%, there is no rule of thumb in here. But when I try out my apps on with Kadira, I try to make sure I never fall below 50% on average.
50?
And looking at the publications, maybe a few of them, due to their nature, may fall well below 50%. I try to make sure each individual publication is higher, even in terms of 70, 80%, or even more, if I can manage to get that. So it is really important in there, because observer use ratio means when a client gets connected to your application, instead of calculating the data that needs to be sent to that client using the database, the upload, and all the mechanisms. Instead of that, there already is a snapshot in the server's application memory, and it is clever enough to send down the data to the client without doing lots of work. So that significantly decreases the overall work on the server, because most of the work done by the Meteor servers is around creating these observers for the publications. If it's publishing the data that it is already observing for, then it's really easy for it to handle a new connected client. So the number of clients, as they grow, the number of information the server needs to keep track of also grows. But instead, if 80 of those 100 clients use the same thing, that means the server is going to basically track only one thing for that 80%, and that other stuff for the others. So this is the most important key metric in here. So to optimize that, what you could do is you can look at your publications breakdown and try to see which ones are lowering that ratio. Could you?
So you said like it should be more than 50%. Is that what you said?
I mean,
50.
there is no rule of thumb in there, but what I try to do is at least get 50% for the overall average. For the overall average. I mean, and even I have some apps that do that around 18 and 70, 80%, and
Right.
some closer to 50% due to its nature. I mean, sometimes we can't do a lot of things because every connected client may actually need different sets of data. But when the sets of data that the clients see can be made so that they're more or less the same, then you are increasing your live query observer use. Can you switch back to the live query tab?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because that's the important one. Could you sort by not fetch documents, but there are other options in there. Yeah, observer use is perhaps the most important. You can, for example, sort by observer use descending, and see which ones are performing good and which ones are performing bad. So, for example, you have FAV and verify, find, and let's look at FAV, for example. What is FAV? Can you click on that?
Which one? Find.
FAV, the one after that, the fourth one.
Favorite?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, favorite is all right. I'll show you.
Can you switch back to the Kadira dashboard first? Let's
Yeah, this is just a favorite button.
Let's just click on that.
Fave this one, is it? Or
Yeah,
find?
the second, that one.
All right, fave. This is basically when a user likes another user.
Can you click on it?
Sorry?
Can you click on it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes, okay, this is what I want to see. When you click on one of them, on the right side, the charts change. Now you start seeing the specific information for that one. And in that one, you have a few different things for you to track. For example, sub-rate CPU usage is an important metric in there. It shows you the relationship between your CPU usage and subscription rate. It kind of helps you out if your subscription is itself CPU heavy in terms of getting its data. Could you scroll up?
Yeah.
Up. Okay. Observer info is another tab in there. Yeah. Okay. So that also shows you a lot of information. It shows you the total used observer handlers, created, deleted observers, and so this is also another important information. It tells you if the created, deleted observers are close to each other, then you're in good hands. But if they are not always very close, that means you are starting to create new observers, and instead of deleting them, you're starting to create another one, because each connected client needs a new one for tracking its data, etc. And total per reused is the same as well. It shows you when you cannot actually reuse and what happens in that time. And when you click on one of them, you will see more information about it. Can you come on the data, please? Yeah. So it tells you how many total observer handlers you have at that point and how many reused ones. So they provide you more information about what that specific publication is doing. And when you have a better idea of how your app load grows, you start seeing which one of these observers are the ones most frequently required by the clients, etc. So that can give you an idea about where to start your optimizations. But looking at this, let's look at the publication code.
Admin.
Mm-hmm. No, publication code for FAV. That one, the one we were looking at.
Profile.
No, the source code, your source code, your IDE.
Oh. What you want to see in my source code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you show your publish code for FAV?
Yeah. This is it. Publish for Fave.
Fave, yeah, Fave.
It's basically a favorite button when a user just favorites someone. It. What is the fave thing? All right. Well, yeah. That's it.
Okay. You're basically publishing it, and yeah, okay. Do you, for example, publish this, subscribe to this as soon as you someone connects to the application, or do you subscribe
Now,
to it?
specific page, like when a user goes to another user's page. Hold on. Why do I subscribe it? Let me hold on a second. Favorite. Yeah, I think it's in. Yeah, it's in this page, I think. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, could you scroll up? What is this?
Where?
Scroll up more, please. To the top. To the top. Is this a help? Oh, yeah, okay. All right, now, this is the thing. You are subscribing in your helper. This is not a good strategy. For subscriptions, you have templates created.
Uncreated.
So if you want to do template-based subscriptions, you should subscribe on your created callback so that it's only subscribed once. But if you subscribe within your helper, it's going to be called as soon as the helper is called, and then its unsubscription is not handled by the template. So this is a subscription that's not going to be teared down properly, and it's going to be rerun many times. So first of all, the first rule of thumb is if you want to do template scope subscriptions, you should subscribe on template template name created block.
Oh, okay. I've done that for like in one of my pages, but I'll show you. But I was thinking like that might slow it down.
Oh, no,
I don't have like.
On the contrary, because template helper is something that is available to your template after it is created and rendered. And at that point, you want your data to be there. And after which, if the helper is called again, you don't want to resubscribe to the data because it should already be there on the template.
Okay.
So.
I had like a lot of helpers somewhere. Anyway. So okay, so I should put them on created or on rendered, right?
Yeah, created, because you want the data before everything is rendered on the page. You want the data, then the template, then the helpers. So that's the rule of thumb. So instead of doing the subscriptions in the helpers, you should immediately switch to scoped subscriptions. And instead of meteor.subscribe, you should use this.
Oh, hello, Chris.
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
I just
Yeah,
wanted to
I did something on the keyboard and everything shut down. I don't know what it was. Anyway, okay. So let's actually fix one of them together with you. Would you mind?
okay.
Okay. So let's create a created block for that template.
Link is in here. All right. One created.
Template.dashboard.created.
Right.
Okay. And you should take your subscription code.
Yeah. So that's it.
No, we need to find the helper.
Okay. There it is.
Okay. Instead of okay, just remove that meteor.subscribe from there. Instead, you should use this .subscribe. Yep, exactly. So this is save and no arguments, and that's it. So this .subscribe means the subscription is created on this template, scopes to it. So as soon as the template is tiered down, the subscription is also tiered down.
Okay.
All right. So, and unlike your helper, however many times your helper runs, it reuses the subscription that is scoped to this template. So if your helper gets rerun due to reactivity, the subscription doesn't get rerun. So it provides you marginal benefit on client-side performance as well. It doesn't make much difference for server-side, this strategy, but for the client side, it should make it more performant. Plus, the templates will have their data immediately.
Okay.
Unlike this case, when you're running your helpers, the data will be coming in at that point. So your application will probably feel more responsive with this strategy. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So let's look at one of those other publications that we can actually maybe optimize, because this is something like we can optimize that. Okay. So let's. Oh no, not this one either. Find is also really performant.
By the way, is there a handlebar linter? Do you use it?
Sorry.
Like, is there any handlebar linter? I've seen like one or two handlebar linters, but I don't know whether I should use it.
Yeah, I haven't seen one either. I mean, since I've been using WebStorm, it helps me apply style guide. So I don't require an external linter for that. Okay.
I've been hearing good stuff about VS Code.
But I mean, what I feel also WebStorm is like awesome, also showing you code errors and where you can optimize and so on. I mean, if you really use the right plugins with WebStorm, it helps me also a lot, to be honest. Just a recommendation, is like.
Yeah,
but it's heavy from RAM. From the RAM, it's a bit slow on the computer.
It's kind of heavy. Once you start using something like WebStorm, and you don't mind the performance overhead, then it's really great.
Yeah, and using Emmet with it and so on, it's like awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Could you, by the way, could you scroll down the code on the right side? Let's see your other publications. Let's see what you have. Users, fine, username, okay. West. Okay, I mean, most of them look like the data itself requires it to work like this. And chat invites. Okay, these are all mostly single document publications. Station ID. Oh.
Yeah, I think you fixed it once, like whitelisting all the fields that you wanna publish. Stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the fields is actually a really good thing to use, because if you don't use fields, it's going to be tracking the whole collection.
Yeah.
But when you use fields, it means it's going to go to track only those fields for its data fetching and everything. So it's wise to use fields like that.
Yeah.
Profile.
Yeah. I haven't used
on
these ones. I haven't used like fields because it only consists of like 3 fields, and all of them are needed anyway.
Now, of course, if you have just a very small number of fields and you actually need that on the client somehow, then you don't have to restrict it like that. Okay.
Yeah, like,
okay.
The user object has like so many fields, but like you need to whitelist it. But this dashboard has only 3 fields anyway, and I need them all. So,
Okay. There is also a strategy where I mean, if you have a subscription that you start too often in an app. For example, if you need something on like 4 pages of the 6 your application has, instead of subscribing to that data on the 4 pages and unsubscribing, you could do one of 2 things. You could either use something like a subscription cache. There are 2 nice packages on Atmosphere for managing subscription caches. Or you could start a global subscription and subscribe as soon as your app loads and never unsubscribe.
On the startup?
Yeah, on the startup. That's a good strategy for global data that should be available to most of your app. Because you have to wait initially to get the data. Yeah, that's a time lost there. But at that point, you never have to switch again. So that means the overall user experience on the app could be much less interrupted by extra data fetches. So that's a nice strategy. All right. Okay. So
I was wondering, like, I have one question where I have one page where I have a lot of subscriptions on Created, and I was wondering whether I could use Composite, like Publish Composite. I've never used it. Will it like make my app faster? I have one question.
Well, it doesn't make your app faster. It makes your app more reactive in terms of the data joins. If you are joining multiple data on the client, the subscription coming in from the server, it's to make that also reactive. You need to use something like Publish Composite or something similar on the server side. If you don't do that, the data coming from dependent publications are not actually reactive.
Okay.
So you might want to use Publish Composite for those cases, especially.
So I mean, when I see like these.
Hold on a second. Here on this code, for example, you are still using Meteor subscribe, but you should be using template subscribe, and you could do something like const template equals this, and then because when you are subscribing like this, you are not actually making it template scoped.
Okay, so if I use like this dot subscribe, will it not work?
Yes, but instead of this, you should
Like
use
a variable, say, hey, this is a variable, this is a template, put it into your variable and use that.
Exactly. You should first declare this and then use it like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could use or you could use arrow functions. If you use arrow functions, then you can use this all the way.
I think this is not.
This is not
I don't
ES.
think
This is not ES6. So probably you
what?
don't have ECMAScript.
It's 1.2 yet.
Yeah. Okay. So you could do is right at the beginning of that block you could say var template equals this, and instead of this you could use template.
Okay.
So let's fix it actually. While we're here, let's just fix it.
Well,
But you should do that before the auto run block.
sorry, what?
You should do it before the auto run.
Okay. Is what you want.
Yeah, that's good. Right. And then instead of this, you use template, and instead of meteor.subscribe, you use template.subscribe.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it template
Yeah.
or subscribe?
Yep.
Okay. So,
And this is the same below with gender equals male.
oh yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So this is going to work much better now. All right.
I'm just seeing if I have like.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Well,
Cool.
so that's one thing we did. Nice.
So this, what does this actually do? So when I'm saying like, okay, template is this, template or subscribe, what benefits did I have by doing
The
this?
main benefit is as soon as the template is created, the subscriptions are created with the template, and as soon as the template is destroyed, the subscriptions are stopped automatically.
Oh, okay.
So stopping the subscriptions is important. I mean, if you don't stop the subscription, it just lies around in there.
All right.
It creates memory load on the client, and on the server side, the subscriptions are there unclosed, so the server needs to keep keeping track of that subscription. So you have to, if you're not using a subscription anymore, you have to stop it.
Okay. So it's like, so the best practice should be
doing that
once
lightly
someone gets
stops it
paid.
for you. Sorry?
So like the best practice is like, is it like this? Like when you don't need it, you gotta stop it, like the
Yes.
subscription. Right?
Yes,
So if
exactly.
I use subscription in one page and I don't need it in another page, as soon as I like move away from that page, I should stop the subscriptions. Right?
Yes, because if I mean if that other page is not sharing the same subscriptions, definitely if it is sharing the same subscriptions, then there are strategies to allow you to share subscriptions across page changes, route changes. You could use a global subscription, you could use a subscription cache, but or you could use a general layout and subscribe on the layout instead.
Okay.
There are different places where you can do the subscription depending on what places of your app requires it. But the rule of thumb is wherever you create it, whenever that part of the page gets destroyed, your subscription should also have to be stopped.
But this is the nav bar though. Like I am most of the time I need these subscriptions like in a couple of pages. So what I did is like I stick them in navbar, so navbar is present everywhere. Just instead of like putting them into layout, I put them in navbar basically. So navbar is in every page. This is being called from every page. So
yeah, I mean, but I mean, okay, technically you're right. Technically you're right. Putting it in navbar is makes sense. But if I were looking at your code, trying to understand your code, I wouldn't expect subscriptions in the navbar. I would expect them somewhere else, either in
Okay.
the actual template that uses that data. That's the first place I would look. The second place I would look would be a layout that uses
Yeah.
that template itself, so that all the other templates that share the same layout could use the same subscription. Or I could look at Meteor's startup, either of those three places. But I wouldn't expect an unrelated subscription in the nav one. I mean, nav is for navigation.
Yeah, like I have like notification, like Facebook style notifications coming
Yeah,
in, like three or four different notifications.
I would subscribe to that data in the notifications template,
Okay.
because that's the only place that uses that data. I mean, if you want the notifications data from your server, and if you want to use it on the notifications template, you subscribe on the notifications template. That's it.
Okay.
You don't go looking for your subscription on other places.
All right. So like there's like three or four notifications, and since they're all in the nav bar, I stick them in the nav bar. That's what I did. But
Oh,
instead of that,
okay. So you have different notification subscriptions.
hold on a second. Let me show you. Yeah. So this one
Mm-hmm.
is like a dashboard of who has viewed your profile.
Uh-huh.
So this is one subscription. This is like the dashboard thing. It's calling the
Uh-huh.
dashboard. This one is who has seen your photos and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And this one is like who are you talking to? Is like a chat notification. So this
Uh-huh.
does like three different notifications.
Oh, okay. I see.
You're telling me and sometimes I use them like, let's say I enter here, yeah. This is like the favorite button and stuff. Sometimes I use them like in this page as well.
Mm-hmm.
The main profile page and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes this chat subscriptions are used here as well. Sometimes stuff like that. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. So I thought maybe you're telling me like, okay, put the subscription where they belong, right?
Yeah. Can you show me your
Three different templates.
Can you show me your notification component template?
Like see the code?
Yeah, the code for your notification template itself.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the photo counter in the nav bar. So, and this is the chat counter.
Oh, so it's not a template that's separate. It's in the header itself.
Yes, like this notification, like.
Oh, okay. I thought.
It's the CSS file. A long time back.
Right. Okay. Okay. In that case, this makes sense, because the data is part of the navigation. In your structure, the data is actually part of your navigation there. So this makes sense.
So yeah, should I like this is still valid? Like template is
Yeah,
valid.
that's something indisputable. That's something you should definitely do.
Okay.
Because you are subscribing in the template anyway, so you should do it properly. You should use this.subscribe, not meteor.subscribe.
Okay.
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 All right then.
All right.
Okay, so we are halfway through. I know we haven't looked at much, but we have had a good discussion. But at this point, I'd really like to switch to Chris and discuss some of his questions and problems. Before doing that, guys, is there anything you really want to ask or show?
I wanna talk about React too.
Okay, okay, all right, cool then. Okay, Chris, it's your turn.
Yeah, I mean, what to say? I have a little app, but I don't have any specific questions yet because I'm following the tutorial.
Mhm.
And what my question was more, I just want to listen again in this group and everything. What my question is just, as we talked in the beginning a bit, it feels a bit React is awesome a bit, or it feels better than Blaze for the front end. But I feel it's Blaze is much better integrated into Meteor yet than React is, in my opinion, or it feels like that for me.
Mhm.
And what I just because of what I loved at the atmosphere package system was a bit that you had trending and top packages and everything. And for my question is more like, okay, do we have any top packages at npm which we always use, or which are making our life much easier, like the uniforms which you posted at Slack, or which you used now in your React app and feel, okay, this is awesome.
Okay, I see. Well, okay, I mean that's a really valid question, and it's a valid concern as well because a lot of people have been used to developing with Blaze in Meteor, and Blaze in Meteor is really very integrated with its environment, so it feels so natural. But yeah, the thing is, React is integrated with Meteor using uh, either something from MDG called React Meteor Data, or there are some other third-party solutions. But yeah, it's not so naturally well fit with Blaze, and it's not like Blaze and Meteor. It's kind of little disjointed. But when you start using it, there are strategies to make it work better. But yeah, it is more work. It's not like creating a template, creating a helper, and expecting the data to be magically
Yes.
there. No, it's
Yeah.
not like that. You
Yeah,
have,
right.
you have to be much more structured. You have to plan ahead. You have to create at least the current best practices. You have to create components that are just visual, and they are called pure. They don't deal with data. They only have props. And then you have container components that deal with the data. And then you have things like Redux store, etc., coming from different places. And then yeah, it's multiple layers of integration until you get something you can play around with on your screen. Whereas with Blaze and the the type of development we used to do with Blaze is more implicit. You do something and you immediately start seeing the results.
Yeah.
Uh, but to be frank, during the past year or so, development with Blaze also kind of started gearing towards the type of developing you do with React. We started seeing more component packages. We started seeing more component-oriented development workflows. We started seeing the applications getting structured in a way that data and presentation are two different things, and then we integrate them together using integration points, etc. So that was actually a change of development style and best practices at the same time with a transition from Blaze to React. So that's why it's a little bit more confusing to a lot of people than it should be. You could as well use React like you are using Blaze.
But can I use with React and Meteor? Can I still use, for example, a simple schema package and so on? They are still working, yeah? Or
Yeah, yes, they still do work.
okay.
They still do work, but yeah, for example, the Meteor guide still suggests using validated methods, and validated methods suggest using simple schema for validating the input.
But I feel the guide, on to be honest, quite frankly, and reading a lot about this, the guide is okay. You can stick to the guide, but for React, I feel it's not a good way to stick completely to the Meteor guides. There are better best practices, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like I heard it a lot, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guide doesn't tell you too much about React. The guide tells you more about how to structure your app, how to deal with the data, how to deal with user interaction, etc. And regarding React, what it basically says is make sure your components are visual components, they are pure components, they don't deal with data. Use something called create container from React Meteor data package to get your Meteor data. That's all the guide tells you to do. And you can apply any React best practice to that.
Okay.
So it's not a roadblock. If you want, you could go take a step backwards and, for example, use React just like you are using Blaze. For example, there are packages like Tracker React, Tracker Component. For example, those two packages allow you to sprinkle your reactive data into your React components, just like you've been doing with Blaze templates.
Yeah, here's a good blog post from the.
It's not a recommended way. It's not a recommended way. But if you are used to Blaze and you are transitioning from Blaze to React, maybe that's a better path for you to start learning React. You could start using Tracker Component or Tracker React. Start just switching your React components for your Blaze templates. And then gradually you could start using things like create component or compose React Composer or things like that. So instead of trying to learn all the things at once, you could switch.
Go with the front end. Go with the front end and do the data layer. Do in the old way, right? This is what you're saying in the end.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, because React and React's data integration with Meteor using one of those alternative components is quite similar to Blaze actually, if you use it like that.
Okay.
So it allows you to start using React, and then in time, when you feel more comfortable with what React itself gives you, you could then start refactoring your React components into separate data and visual components.
Okay. Now I think I want to start directly with the separation, even if it's harder. But that's for me. That's the thing how it works, right? I mean.
Yeah.
I better start with it directly, even if it goes below the learning curve. But I also want to start with Redux, but I didn't get the Redux point yet about it. I didn't learn it yet, and I didn't understand what's the part here. But I understand it's the data layer more, right? So because to be honest, yeah. React front ends are very easy to build with React, right? So if the front end part, the component is quite easy, but then the complex part comes.
It is easy. Well, I mean, Redux is something that sits in between your components, the visual parts of the page, and the data. But the data can be state data, UI state, like is the sidebar open? Do I show the notifications right now, or is this those kind of UI state data? Or if you want, you could also integrate your application data into Redux. A lot of people don't integrate app data to Redux while using it with Meteor. And some people also get Meteor's minimal data into Redux as well, so that everything is in Redux. That's also a valid strategy. There are pros and cons to either one. So it's an open-ended discussion. Right? There's no this is the best practice kind of choice in there. But for traditional React apps, not Meteor ones, people generally tend to use Redux for almost all data purposes. So they store all of their data on the Redux store. They also use the actions to manipulate that data as well. So it actually works like a data interface between your application backend and your UI.
But what was Redux in the Blaze time? Sorry, like
Sorry?
before I used Blaze with Meteor, there was no
Well,
Redux.
Yeah, but we had reactive var, we had reactive leaf,
Right.
we had session, especially. That
This
was,
is replacing Redux. Redux is replacing reactive var and session, right?
yeah, exactly. Redux replaces that. Also, you could use Redux to replace Minimongo as well.
Okay.
Minimongo is your client database. You could
And-
use
yeah.
Redux to replace that as well. I mean, some people do that, some people don't. For example, I do something that's exactly in between. I use Redux for UI state plus any global data. For example, if I have global subscriptions that I subscribe immediately for the app, then I place that data in the Redux store as well, because I treat them like the global state data.
Okay. And then also, just last question. Where's Apollo coming in this whole thing? I mean, I know this is now 2, 3, 4, 5 months away, but I feel like it's coming also. Is
Yeah.
Apollo then, what is Apollo replacing, or what is Apollo taking over then?
Well, Apollo is not currently replacing anything. Apollo is actually giving you a new data backend where you could use any data, not just MongoDB. You could use MongoDB, you can use REST endpoint.
GraphQL, right? GraphQL is the thing.
Yeah, GraphQL, exactly. You could use SQL databases, you could use other Meteor servers, etc. You could use any backend. And what Apollo does is combine that in an easy-to-consume way for your client with a GraphQL client. And Apollo's GraphQL client is actually really easy to use. So normally creating a GraphQL server and a GraphQL client is not a really easy task to do, but Apollo makes it much easier. And what it promises to do in the future is also provide you reactivity. So at this point, if you have non-reactive data, or data that does not have to be reactive, you could actually start using Apollo today, because it's really easy to implement, and when you start using it, you will feel that it fits your application more naturally. There's no extra subscriptions to deal with. There's no server and client queries separated. You have only a single data snapshot that you ask for, and you get it from your server.
So is Apollo replacing Meteor a bit? I feel like you have the server and the client, and then that's the thing, or I don't know.
Well, it's not replacing Meteor. First of all, Apollo can be used in and out of Meteor. You don't need Meteor to use Apollo, but if you have Meteor, it is very easy to integrate Apollo with Meteor. Apollo is only about data. Meteor, on the other hand, is about building your app. Meteor provides you something Webpack.
The build system. Okay, Webpack.
Yeah, it's also a build system. It provides you ECMAScript. It provides you polyfills. It provides you Cordova. It provides you all of those things together. So it makes your application development lifecycle easier.
But so in my feeling, it feels like, okay, the transition goes, not now, but in the next month, to Webpack plus Apollo plus React, and then we have Meteor, and yeah, Mongo if you want, or any database. It feels a bit like this, or I don't know.
Yeah, it does feel like that, but the thing is, Meteor as a build system is also improving. So instead of dealing with Webpack configurations, instead of dealing with trying to put all of those things together, trying to get GraphQL to work with Webpack, trying to get some backend server to work with Webpack, etc. You have Meteor. You run Meteor run, and it runs. That's it. It builds, it runs, and it runs for your.
That's what we love, right? That's what we love from Meteor. So.
Yeah, exactly.
One click in WebStorm or one line code in the terminal, and it runs. That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the beauty of Meteor. So I'm not afraid about anything replacing anything else. Meteor is actually a great build system. It embraces the overall JavaScript community. I mean, it supports ECMAScript, it supports sorry, ES 2015. It supports
Yeah.
React, Angular, and all of that stuff. It supports Cordova. It supports anything you may want in a JavaScript role. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great tool to have still. So and I also look forward to Apollo. And as soon as it's more mature, I really want to start using it in my apps, actually. People are actually using it in production, by the way. So it is actually quite mature even now. And about your other question about atmosphere packages and what replaces them. So the thing is, if you can find something on npm, use it from npm instead of using it from atmosphere.
No, I just use npm and don't use atmosphere anymore. I really don't use it.
There are cases that you want to use atmosphere. For example, you need simple schema from atmosphere.
Yeah, that's what I didn't install yet. I can install it, but I didn't yet, but I will then, because I think Collection 2 and Simple Schema are two packages which you always need, or?
Exactly. So you still use atmosphere. I mean, don't just abandon it yet.
Not yet.
But-
In 2 months it is abandoned. I see that.
Yeah, the rule is if you can find something on npm, use it from npm, and if you cannot find it on npm, search atmosphere if it's there. And about the counterparts, sometimes the same exact package may not be on npm, but something similar may be on npm. Or the package you were using would be depending on Blaze, and now that you are using React, you may want to look for something else that works with
Is there a site or a top 50 page React npm packages?
Well, I mean, there are.
I'm missing this top at Atmosphere. You know, this top used plugins.
I'll share a link with you. Yeah, there's a page called js.coach. I'll paste that link on Slack now.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, where's my Slack?
So
JS Coach is a page where you in fact let me just share my screen here and I'll walk you through it. I'll walk you through a few places. Let me first paste this here. Hold on a sec, guys.
I think I have it already. JS Coach, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just share my screen here, okay?
and what's this?
That looks nice.
Okay. So yeah, here it is. So guys, this is a place where you can search for React and React Native goodies, and also other things as well. So, for example, there are things for Webpack, there are things for Babel, but I mainly use this place for React. So, let's say you wanna find something related to forms. Let's say here are categories, and I click on the forms category, and here I go. I have lots of form alternatives here, and I see the stars, I see the installs.
That's nice.
Example, yeah, React Date Picker, it's like 65 installs per month. It's obviously very popular, so if I need a date picker, I'll probably want to use React Date Picker. So, so this is a great place to search for React-related components and code. This is the thing I use instead of Atmosphere nowadays.
That's nice. That's nice. That's what I looked for. Yeah.
Exactly. So regarding counterparts, well, the thing is, if you have to search and ask around. For example, the component suite that I struggled most with was autoform alternatives. I mean, with Blaze, I had all these autoform, and it's superb. It's spectacular. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and with React, Frankly, I've been doing lots of forms with React. I mean, I've used Redux forms, I've used Formzy, I've tried to use AutoForm in React, wrapping it with one of those wrappers. And Forms is not really much. For example, Angular has great support for forms, and AutoForm is really powerful. But React, I think it's lacking this. I mean, Redux forms is the most extensive and most flexible forms framework in React. But after using either Angular or AutoForm and Blaze, that feels like 10 years ago. So yeah, you have to kind of live with it. In the meantime, I discovered a neat little package called Uniforms.
Yeah, I checked it out.
Yeah, from Radek, Vasco Uniforms. It's really a great package. I shared the link yesterday. I think if you're used to AutoForm, you can switch to that. I have good mileage from it. I've been using it in an application for 2 months now, and I have rather larger forms, and it's kind of slow with very large forms, and if you have too many arrays in the forms. Other than that, I haven't seen many problems with it. The developer is really super responsive. He answers all the questions. He does really rapid releases. If you post a question or a feature request, you see that he releases something new the day after. So there is good support. Yeah, there's a commercial company behind it, by the way. Vasco is a good Meteor development partner. So as long as you're using simple schema and you want your forms to be reusing those schema definitions, Uniforms is a great alternative to Redux forms. So maybe you should also look into that first. And when you think you want something even more flexible, and you are also using Redux, maybe you can look at Redux forms. But at the moment, I'm really happy with Uniforms. We have visitors.
Yeah, no, thanks. That's awesome. I already on this JS code right now. Sorry, I was searching for it. Oh, it's awesome. It's exactly what I looked for, so that I can sort it by React and popular, and I just check it out and get new ideas and everything. You know, so it's cool.
All right, cool. So to recap, whenever you wanna search for something from Atmosphere, you just switch back to npm. Search npm.js.org if it exists there and use it from there. If it doesn't, see if you can come up with something using this JS coach. Or if you can't, you have to develop it yourself. I mean, as long as, but there are also some things on Atmosphere that don't depend on Blaze, and you can actually use them if they're not available on npm either. So using Atmosphere is not a bad idea yet, but you should use it as little as possible. That's it. Okay?
Cool.
Right.
Thanks.
Guys, I think we're over an hour right now, so if you have another final question, I'd like to answer that as well. Otherwise, let's go today and begin our...
I'm fine. Thanks for the session.
Right then. Okay. Yes?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you guys for the great session. I'll see you later, okay?
Yeah, see you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.